Hi, Shannon Waller here with Dan Sullivan on the Inside Strategic Coach podcast. Dan, we've been talking a lot the last couple of days, and you said something to me that was incredibly exciting and energizing, and I have not heard you say it quite this way before. And it has to do with really the secret to 10 times growth for entrepreneurs. So can you share what that secret is? And of course, it's one of my favorite topics, so we'll have lots to talk about.
Yeah, and I know that the listeners to the Inside Strategic Coach series are longtime veterans of the Strategic Coach program. You may have been in the Strategic Coach program and you're not active in the program right now. And then there's individuals who really haven't gotten involved with Strategic Coach. So this is about, all three audiences. And you asked me the question, you have this 10 times program, Dan. So for entrepreneurs who are thinking about 10 times, what are the three most important things to keep in mind if you're going in this direction and you're trying to figure out how you would go 10 times? And so the first thing, the number one principle is teamwork. Okay, you got to have really, really great teamwork. And number two, and I don't know if I've said this before, it's teamwork. And then number three, just to make sure that you've got the lesson, it's teamwork. So it's like real estate. What's the secret of great real estate success? It's location, location, location. Well, for entrepreneurs to go 10 times, the three things you have to keep in mind are teamwork, teamwork, and teamwork.
I love every second of this. So why is teamwork so important for 10 times growth, for 10 times thinking?
Well, number one, as an entrepreneur, if you don't have a teamwork mindset, there's no possibility of going 10 times.
That's a very powerful statement. Why not?
Well, because you can't see your future outside of what you personally can do. And yet, if you look at the world around you, everything that's flourishing, everything that's growing in the marketplace, regardless of what profession, regardless of what business or industry that you're in, none of the really flourishing results that we're seeing in the world right now are the result of one person just relying on their own capabilities. Okay, they're great at teamwork. So I'm not telling anybody something mysterious here, is that look at everything that you admire about other people's results in the marketplace, performance and results, and it's just pure teamwork. That there was a person who has a great idea, has a great dream about something, and they have certain capabilities that they can articulate that vision, they can motivate themselves for that, they can have the commitment and courage to go forward with this. But once you have that, then you've gone beyond your own capabilities. You've reached the limit of your own capabilities. On the other side of a line, and you got to be sure where the line is, everything that's going to happen to make your dream come true lies on the other side of the line from your own capabilities, and it's in the realm of teamwork with other people who have very different but just as powerful, unique abilities, but they're different from yours.
First of all, that's so clarifying and so interesting. And I think it's great because it gets people out of this mindset of being a rugged individual and doing everything themselves, as we've talked about. So what are some of the key aspects to successful teamwork? Because this is something you and I both talk about with our clients a lot. Some people are great at teamwork and some people less so. So what are some of the key things that people need to know or do or think about in order to be really good at teamwork?
Well, the first one is that you're absolutely clear that there's no way forward except teamwork. So that's the first part of the mindset. The other mindset that you have to have, and now we're going into the realm of who you are as an entrepreneur, if you want really, really great teamwork around you, in other words, you want to attract really great team members, then you have to start off by you yourself being someone who's a really great team member, which is just the opposite of rugged individualism. And my success, and it's more so recently, I'm noticing a huge jump in just the last year. And I'm talking, in my case, between ages 72 and 73, I've probably made the greatest gains in being a good team member in the last 12 months than I had in the previous 72 years. because I've really started to accept the full impact of everything that I've been saying over the years.
That's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, and what I mean by that is that I'm really alert to where I can use my unique abilities to inspire other people and to encourage other people. I'm very, very alert to that. So I'm no longer looking at Dan. I know what my unique abilities are. Doing what I'm doing right now with you is one of my unique abilities, creating new ideas for the high-level workshops that I do. That's one of my unique abilities. Just being able to conduct a coaching session for 8 hours, that's my unique abilities. And being really, really good at saying exactly what I want, and I use the impact filter form as my main tool for that. We just made a video, which is called the Dan Sullivan Story, Game Changer. One of the things that the film crew said, when you talk to all the people we interviewed, there were about 20 interviews that showed up in this video, and they said the one thing that comes through is Dan always knows exactly what he wants. So this is a unique ability I have. I can tell you exactly what I want. And if I'm not talking to you, it's because I'm not clear. But if I am talking to you, it's because I'm absolutely clear about what I want. That's my unique ability. So what I do is that I stay on my side of the line and define projects that I think are really great for the progress of the company, but would be progress for all the team members. So that's my part of the teamwork. And I'm very curious about new things. So I'm alert, I'm curious. I'm very responsive to the impact of people who have different unique abilities. And I'm very resourceful of how I use my unique ability and the unique abilities of other people in the company to achieve bigger and better results. So that's who I am becoming more and more of, and more so in the last 12 months than I can think of any time previously in my life, Shannon.
That's so empowering, first of all. It's great because for anyone I talk to lots of entrepreneurs about teamwork, and some of them get kind of resigned, like, oh, I'm just not very good at teamwork, or, they know they're not a good team player. And if you're experiencing growth and expansion in this area between the ages of 72 and 73, there's no reason for anyone to give up on themselves, because you can always get better. And you were already really good, and I would agree. I've seen a jump in that. There's two things about that. One is you're incredibly cooperative and collaborative. It's just very easy to work with you, and you stay on your side of the line, which is great. But the other part, and I think this is a very undervalued or underestimated key point for a lot of people, is just how clear you are on what you want. There is nothing that drives confusion through an organization faster than an entrepreneur being excited about one thing one day, then changing their mind the next day, and then getting back on the bandwagon 3 weeks later. It's just this back and forth, and it confuses and messes with the team's head, if you want to put it that way. So the fact that you're so clear, and if you're not saying anything, it's because you're not clear. That's just a great thing to know, Dan. And then when it does come out in the form of an impact filter, everyone knows that you take this idea seriously, and so everyone else can take it really seriously. Mm-hmm. So kudos to you, because I work with you outside of this experience as well, for operating that way, because it just means there's no friction, there's no drag, and projects can just move ahead without any of that questioning that sometimes happens. So I think that piece of direction you've just given is really, really essential for teamwork.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and, it's my main work on myself. Entrepreneurs have to work on their company, but the number one thing is you have to work on yourself. And I'm looking at any part of my behavior, as I come in day after day into the company, where am I getting in the way of other people's energy? Where am I getting in the way of other people's capabilities? And I correct that. I just keep correcting myself and saying, don't do that. That just confuses people. That just wastes their time, wastes their energy. They get confused when you do that. Don't confuse them. Keep everybody clear. Keep everybody focused on their capability. And then design projects for bigger and better results that can instantaneously understand why this is a good thing. But not only that, they know instantly how their unique ability can contribute to this, and they're not confused about it. And they know what the measurements are, and they know what a win is going to be. I think that's the big thing, is always blueprint people's future so that they can win. This is a high level of entrepreneurism when your entire impact on your team is blueprints for the future, bigger and better results, where they just win. There's no losing in it.
That's very exciting. I love everything you're saying, Dan. Thank you. What I'm noticing is you're not focused on you, Dan. You're focused on the impact of you, which is, again, it's a very high level of entrepreneurship, and that it's not just about you and what you want. It's what's the impact of that going to be on other people, and how can not just you win, but the whole team win. For everyone listening, it is really fun to be involved in your projects. You know that you're going to learn stuff, you're going to hear some great things, you're going to be able to do what you're best at. There's a lot of room for creativity. Yesterday in another project we were working on, it was you gave the team carte blanche to just make improvements and make it better. Like just let you know at the end, but in the meantime, just do it. And that there's a massive amount of growth that's possible for people in that type of an environment, and you get the best out of people, which I think is another big concern or fear that people have with teamwork is, they're going to give me their best. Well, you create an environment where that's super easy to deliver.
Well, the other thing that I'm very conscious of being a role model, how each of my team members in their own sphere of activity can also be leaders. They can design projects that produce bigger and better results. I remember, we have a very fundamental thinking process in Strategic Coach called the Moving Future. And all the team leaders in Strategic Coach every quarter do a Moving Future to design 5 projects that are going to improve things in their area that they're in charge of. And I was in a meeting where I think it may have been about 15 or 16 individuals. Each talked about the 5 projects for improving things over the next quarter. And I'm not involved, for the most part, in the development of the organization. My main focus is the evolution of the program itself and the part of the program that I'm responsible for, which is the 10 times Ambition program, where we have over 500 entrepreneurs. And now, during 2018, it's going to be the Game Changer program, which is taking the most ambitious and most successful of the 10 times entrepreneurs and creating a new framework for them. So that's my thing. But I was sitting listening, so it was 16 people times 5. It was 80 new projects. And I was sitting there in wonderment. Shannon, I was just sitting there. I said, all this is happening every day, and I don't even know about that. And far from making me insecure, things are happening that I'm not controlling, my sense was, man, an amazing number of really, really great projects are happening, and I don't have to know about any of these things. I know it's all good. I know it's going to grow things. But I think the reason why this is happening, because Babs is being a good role model. I'm being a good role model of saying you're all leaders in some area of every day, and you have teams and you have teamwork that you're working with other people. And we don't have to really know about that because we know that you're clear about what bigger and better looks like for you, and you've got measurements of tangible, measurable results that are going to happen at the end of every 90 days. And that's a self-managing company, but quite frankly, it's a self-multiplying company when you get to that stage. But it comes back from the entrepreneurs realizing that outside of their own specific unique ability, in my case, it's the innovative, it's the articulating, it's the identification of new powerful projects. It's all teamwork. There's nothing on the other side of the line except teamwork with other people. And quite frankly, there are people more and more so inside of our company where the unique abilities in their own realm are just as powerful as my unique ability, as Bab's unique ability.
And what that means for our company is just how much bigger and more expansive and more impact. And the pressure's not only on any one person to help grow, it's actually on all of us. And it's very much a leaderful company, which is a neat way of...
Leaderful.
Leaderful. Sounds strange, but it's good. So this is exciting, Dan. And I know a lot of people are wanting to know, how do you grow 10 times? If the answer is teamwork, teamwork, and teamwork, then you've given a very clear specification on exactly how to do that.
There's a question that comes up. We get lots of compliments from our entrepreneurs. They say, you have such great people here. Where do you find them? And I said, well, actually, it doesn't work that way. They actually find us. In other words, that there are a lot of people in the marketplace who have great skills who are looking for a place where their skills are going to grow, where their skills are going to be rewarded, and where their skills are actually going to be in a system of teamwork where they can enjoy performance and they can enjoy outcomes that are way bigger than their own unique ability. And they're looking to work within a structure, within a company, where the people in charge of this company have a mindset that totally supports their own personal growth. And I said, all we do is put out a radio beacon. If you really want to grow and you really want to have a great work life that you actually, in some cases, our team members come in after a weekend off and they say, thank God it's Monday. I get to grow for 5 days. And, that's a nice compliment. It's one of those measurements you put down and say, well, that's a really good mindset that we've created here. The thing is that it's not peculiar to us. Any entrepreneur who can adapt these mindsets regarding teamwork can enjoy the same type of excitement, there's a real entrepreneurial happiness to this approach. Stay inside your unique ability and do everything else through teamwork. That's the real formula for entrepreneurial happiness.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Dan.
Thank you.
So, Dan, you mentioned the Dan Sullivan movie in our conversation. I want to make sure that everyone has the link to that because it's an incredible story. It's your story, but it's also a story of the difference the Strategic Coach has made in the lives of entrepreneurs. So if anyone wants to check that out, please go and watch thedansullivanmovie.com. And for those of you that have been in Coach or are in Coach currently and you are looking for a way to share or explain it with your family, I could not recommend a better 53 minutes, whatever it is, because they'll actually understand what you've been up to. So again, it's thedansullivanmovie.com. We think you'll definitely enjoy it, and certainly feel free to share it with anyone else that you think would find it useful and find it inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon.